See, this role was sort of a bit cheeky. I got a little bit out of my comfort zone, you know. During the filming of this role in this character, I felt oppressed, like an American slave, like a lot of struggle. I studied the art.
Samson, you look great tonight.
How hard was it for you to change your accent?
As a little boy from Manchester, I think, I struggled a bit with the dialect, right? But to really get into character for this quite astonishing role that I took on, to say the least, I put it all on the line.
Druski has somehow managed to offend Britain, Hollywood, every drama school in London, and all he really did was put on a British accent. His latest skit, British actors are taking all the roles, works because it's ridiculous, but also close enough to something people have been saying for years. Druski plays Samson Dubois, a fictional British actor from Manchester who somehow keeps getting cast in every serious Black American role possible. Slave films, gritty street dramas, award season interviews, fake entertainment news ambushes. It's basically Hollywood's Black prestige drama machine turned into one absurd character. And because the internet has no chill, people immediately started naming names. Damson Idris was the obvious one. He played Franklin Saint in Snowfall, and a lot of American viewers were shocked when they heard his real voice.
In the morning, the first drink I always have is a tea to stick to my lovely British roots. Oat milk, 2 sugars. Sometimes I'll do a green tea, sometimes I'll do a peppermint tea, little bit of honey in there. If I'm at work, I'll do a coffee. More specifically, a caramel latte, and I get to eating. My on-the-go breakfast is, a majority of the time, it's oatmeal, maybe like some berries. I try to stay healthy when other people are watching. At home, I'm a maniac. Eggs, full-on English. Beans are very important. Bacon, sausages, 3 toasts, not 4.
So when Druski starts doing the intense American street drama thing, people instantly made the connection. Damson even reacted laughing, which says a lot. He understood the joke wasn't really attacking him personally, it was attacking a pattern. Then other celebrities and comedians reacted too. Six Lack basically summed it up by saying Druski might tell a joke, but he'll never tell a lie. Jesse Wu joked that SNL could never, which speaks to how big Druski's sketches are starting to feel. Kev on Stage was also part of the reaction wave, and plenty of celebrities were laughing in the comments. So this became bigger than a normal skit. Because Druski didn't just make a joke about accents, he accidentally reopened one of the strangest debates in Black Hollywood. Why do Black British actors keep getting so many major Black American roles?
Druski's skit on Black British actors taking over Hollywood has been frying me. But not for the reason people think it would. The first thing, yeah, he goes, I'm from Manchester, but he's doing a southern Cockney accent. What? Americans, for the most part, can't tell the difference between most British accents. To them, it all sounds the same, unless you're like Scottish or Scouse or something, then they might hear the difference. And then what was funny for me, yeah, I watched the video first on Twitter, and the comments, everyone was like, yo, the accent's so good. How is he switching it? And I'm there like, this is a good accent? I feel like most British people can do like a pretty decent American accent. We watch so much American TV, like we just be code switching daily, like period. The other way around don't really apply though, because Americans don't watch that much British TV. And two, when they do try to do one, it's always some like posh Bridgerton accent. Although recently, because of Top Boy, I'm seeing way more people trying to attempt the new London accent.
Okay, so we don't talk enough about Black British actors playing roles in Black American film, especially when it comes to historical Black American characters. Now, today I just learned out this whole thing about Cynthia Erivo, and as I learn more about it and potentially get my heart broken, which I hope I don't, this has been something that I have been screaming for such a long time. David Oyelowo, who is somebody that I have had disdain for a very long time, playing MLK and other figures, while actively not only talking negatively about Black Americans, but only dating white women, etc., has been a really, like, somebody who has gone past a lot of these conversations, while John Boyega is somebody who is on the other side of that, who has consistently used his platform to amplify Black people and to give a lot of respect to Black Americans. This is a very complex topic, but I really hope that we begin to like raise it up. And drop your thoughts and let me know if you have any feelings about this, any of your experiences, and feel free to stitch this and let me know.
And to be clear, nobody sensible is saying Damson Idris can't act. Nobody serious is saying Daniel Kaluuya, Idris Elba, David Oyelowo, John Boyega, or Cynthia Erivo have no talent. These are serious actors. A lot of them are brilliant. The issue isn't that British actors are bad. The issue is that Hollywood keeps asking British actors to perform very specific Black American pain, and some Black Americans feel strange watching outsiders get celebrated for stories rooted in their own history.
Filming of this role in this character, I felt oppressed, like an American slave, like a lot of struggle. I studied the art.
Why are Black Americans' cultural experiences often told by outsiders? We're talking about Idris Elba, we're talking about Damson Idris, we're talking about Cynthia Erivo. Specifically Cynthia Erivo because she spoke so ill of Black Americans before she played Harriet. Playing characters like Aretha Franklin, Celie off The Color Purple, but had zero respect for the culture in which these characters come from. Acting is about transformation, so I don't blame the actors for taking on these roles. They do good in the roles. I find it funny when Black Americans benefit the least from telling our stories. There would be so much authenticity that can come from a Black American person playing these roles. There'd be more intention in my mind. I need Damson Idris to play a hood character from LA. For example, Daniel Ezra from All American, Spencer James. That is a very Black boyhood. Somebody who has to literally study the language, study these people, as opposed to somebody who probably was actually brought up in it. There's so many Black American actors who this is their real life experience. I think they also believe that Black British people are more palatable, less politically tied to Black, American identity. Black American culture is so globally consumed, right? But it's not protected.
If a British actor plays a generic American character, most people don't care. A superhero, detective, villain, lawyer, spy, fine. But when the role is tied to slavery, police brutality, civil rights, American street life, poverty, or Black American trauma, the conversation changes. Because those are not just roles, those are cultural wounds, and Hollywood loves those wounds. Hollywood loves a Black suffering story when awards are attached. The plantation scene, the crying mother, the civil rights monologue, the broken family, the gangster with depth, the movie where racism is bad but beautifully lit. And then, very often, the industry turns around and casts someone from London. That does not mean the actor is doing something wrong. Actors act. If Damson Idris auditions for Snowfall and kills it, of course he should get the part. If Daniel Kaluuya gives the best performance, of course he should be considered. The problem is not the actor walking through the door. The problem is why Hollywood keeps opening that door while some Black American actors feel like they have to beg to tell stories from their own backyard. That's why Druski's skit works so well. He doesn't explain any of that. He just creates Samson Dubois.
I'm sure you've come across the interview with Samuel L. Jackson on Hot 97, talking about him not really feeling comfortable with Black British actors adopting American roles, where he feels like actual African American actors could give it a bit more oomph. There's a different feeling, as he would describe. What are your thoughts on that? Because there is a tension and some sort of disdain where you have, the Damson Idris and Daniel Kaluuya's coming over, and they're doing great jobs as far as I'm concerned. But how do American actors feel about this?
You may not be able to afford one of the American actors, but maybe you can afford this British actor who will come over and do it for less. I understand what Samuel Jackson was talking about, in particular with my friend David playing Martin Luther King.
Yes.
Because I felt that what he was very good at was creating the public persona of Martin Luther King. But what I felt that he lacked was the personal side, when Martin Luther King is with his boys and he's not in the public and he's talking with regular guys and he's using the N-word or whatever else that we would use when we're in our own company.
Yes.
He was still doing the public persona of the character.
Yeah. Samson is funny because he feels like 5 different actors at once. He's the British actor doing a slavery film. He's the British actor doing a perfect American accent, then switching back the second the director says cut. He's the award show darling talking about how he had to study struggle. He's deeply serious about Black American trauma, but also slightly detached from it. That detachment is the joke. And for some Black Americans, the joke lands because it says the quiet part out loud. Why are you always here when the role is about us suffering? But to be fair, Black British actors are not coming from some magical land of privilege where racism doesn't exist. A Black actor from South London, Manchester, Birmingham, or East London is not automatically some posh Shakespeare robot floating out of drama school with a monocle. Black British people have their own racism, class struggle, police issues, and history of being treated like outsiders.
Zach Polanski made a public pledge towards the Black communities through the Voice newspaper ahead of the local elections on the 7th of May. And honestly, it made me stop and think. Not just about him, not just about the Green Party, about politics and Black Britons and the relationship that this country has had with Black people for generations. Because every election cycle, politicians suddenly start speaking directly to Black communities. They appear in Black newspapers, they make promises, they say they hear us, and they say they care. Many Black British people are sitting here asking, where's the long-term investment? Where is the structural change? And where is the accountability after election season ends? Because this conversation is more deeper than one political party. You cannot just tell Black British people to move on from racism, when many of us are still living inside of those consequences of it every single day. This country was built on slavery, colonization, and exploitation. Black people were uprooted from their countries, stripped of their identity, enslaved, dehumanized, and brought into a system that profited from Black suffering for generations. People always act like racism is gone because it doesn't always look like it did in the 1950s. But racism didn't vanish, it evolved.
So when Americans say they don't understand the Black American experience, British actors might say, fair enough, but don't act like we came from nothing but tea and biscuits. That is why the debate gets messy. Black Americans are often talking about ownership of a specific history. Black Brits are often talking about respect for their own struggle and craft. And Hollywood sits in the middle, pretending this is only about who gave the best audition. But come on, Hollywood has patterns. British actors often come from theatre. They are trained in dialect work. They are used to disappearing into roles. They may feel fresh to American casting directors, and for whatever reason, British training still carries this weird prestige in Hollywood. And yes, some of them are just extremely good. But the uncomfortable question is still there. If a story is specifically about Black American life, should Black American actors be prioritized? That question is not crazy. Representation cannot only matter when the camera is on. It also matters who gets hired, who gets paid, and who gets treated as the face of a history. At the same time, acting cannot become a purity test. If every actor could only play exactly what they are, the whole art form would collapse. American actors play British people. British actors play Americans. Australians somehow play everybody. So the issue is not whether British actors should be allowed to play Black American roles. Of course they should. The issue is why Hollywood seems so comfortable repeatedly going outside Black America for stories about Black America.
Well, welcome to Los Angeles, as we call it here. But it's amazing the accent that you do on the show, because you really seem like you're an American.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's, well, that was the object, I guess. That was your intention. How did you do that so well?
Wow. So I have a dialect coach. His name's Druski.
Okay.
And he's from West Side Connection. He raps with...
Oh, the rapper. Okay.
Yeah, real OG.
Okay.
And it was amazing.
That's your dialect coach?
I know, right? So you could understand I was petrified all the time.
Druski is doing internet comedy at a level where one sketch can feel bigger than a whole TV segment. He understands that the best viral comedy touches something people already feel. The skit can be silly, but the observation underneath has to be sharp. British actors taking all the roles is not a new joke, but Druski updated it for the Damson Idris Prestige TV online debate era. He gave it a character, a voice, and enough truth for everyone to argue. That's why it worked. The skit is not saying Black British actors are evil. It is saying there is something funny about how often Hollywood looks across the Atlantic when it wants a certain kind of Black American seriousness. Druski didn't start the Black British versus Black American conversation. He just gave it a new meme. He put a face on it. He gave it an accent. He made it ridiculous enough for everyone to laugh, but accurate enough for everyone to argue.